Is this thing on? Okay, yes, we are on. This is Stone Soup Poetry. It is February. We are in year two of Fimbulwinter. It is it's kind of amazing. That's already the second month of this of the second year of Fimbulwinter. I hope you are all well. I hope you're all staying safe. The snow sucks up here in New England. We want it to go away, or at least go away enough so I don't have to shovel out a parking spot at my girlfriend's school every day. So yes, that is actually happening. Although in the last couple of days the snow has melted, so I'm doing a little better. But I'm glad everyone is here. I'm glad the poetry is still going on. I'm glad we're seeing some faces I haven't seen in a while. And we'll be making some more announcements for the rest of February soon. The Jules Nyquist of New Mexico is going to be closing out for February, and I know there's more people coming in. There's more people I'm going to be announcing for the months ahead, including all the way up to April National Poetry Month. But without any further ado, let's get to who the Runinator 5000 is chosen first. And wisely, it is chosen Julian Matthews, who's on a stricter time crunch than all the rest of us. I want him to get his licks in. So, Julian, if you want to unmute, and I'm going to activate the sharing of the screen because I know you like to do that as well. Give me a second for that. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're on.
Oh, thank you. This one is called. What is it called? Oh, it's not even on my screen. Give me a sec.
No problem.
Screen specific app. Okay. Okay, here we go. Is that big enough for y'all to see?
Yes.
Okay. Silverfish. It's after Jane Hirschfield's It Was Like This. You Were Happy, and I borrowed the first line from that poem. It was like this. You were happy, then you were sad. You slept, you awakened. Sometimes you ate 3 meals a day. Sometimes you ate nothing at all. Some days you pulled the curtain, slept some more. Some nights you spotted the moon, wished you were on it. Once during turning the pages of an old book in the library, a silverfish crawled out, and you screamed, dropped it. Embarrassed, you picked it up, returned it to the shelf. You look at your past as a series of unfinished books on the shelf. All the books you started then abandoned for some reason or another. You look at your future as an infinite shelf of books, stretching far across the darkened room and up to the moon. You may follow its trail, weaving yourself within the shelf and into each book. In and out, book after book after book, tunneling through like a long silverfish, never grasping the words or holding on to any sentences for any length of time, just chewing yourself through your own never-ending story. Sometimes you ate, sometimes nothing at all. Some days you slept, some nights you lay awake all night. You were happy, then you were sad, then you left for the moon. Tonight, I spotted you there. Wow. Okay, and can I do another? Thank you. Oh, happiest place on earth. My head in your lap, inside an ice cream cone. The mind space of the Dalai Lama. My dog greeting me at the door. your baby soft hand in mine, rain on tongue, a hug, the scent in a forest after rain, on a canopy walk among the trees, cycling downhill in the wind, curled up by the fireplace. First kiss, sunrise, the hint of your perfume when you walk by, reading alone in a favorite bookshop, diving among coral and fish, ocean plunge, bungee jump, shared laughter in a movie theater, a potluck dinner among friends, the ring on the ring finger, wedding, cuddling, child in my arms, graduation, sunset, the worm eating through my casket. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And let's see, going through the list, I'm going to bring up next someone we haven't seen for a while due to illness, and I'm glad she's back. Let's welcome up Rita Rusty Rose.
Thank you. I'm going to rehash some poems, and this time I'll share. I looked at your video today, Chad.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I stand. Winter 25-26. We must overthrow men who pervert our Constitution. Abraham Lincoln. America, I stand against gaslighting U.S. citizens by the current regime. I stand against the government who trample First Amendment rights. I stand against Project 2025-26, the far right delusional agenda oppressing LGBTQ, Black, brown, and white American citizens. I stand against reign of terror by mass ICE fascists who strike fear in multitudes. I stand against President Trump, DHS Christie Nome, and autocrats who label American protesters terrorists. I stand against government agencies and agents who sabotage the law. I stand against tear gas, bullets, the killing of poets, nurses, fathers, mothers, neighbors in U.S. streets. I stand with the Keith Porter Jr.'s, Renee Nicole Goods, and Alex Pretty's waiting for our paralyzed Congress to act.
You're muted, Jed.
Sorry. Thank you, Rita. I'm trying to make things a little bit, the remnant area rather is trying to make things a little bit more unexpected, a little more random. And we're going to bring up someone who's new to this call, to this gathering, Linda Olson. Excuse me.
Hi,
If you're
everybody.
able on, I don't think I said the entirety of your name because my computer screen is somehow cut. Oh yes, Linda Olson Graham. Sorry about that.
Oh, thanks so much. Well, it's a joy to be with all of you. I've thought of joining in so many times, and it's just a thrill. So, my writing is under the name Earth, Ocean, Heavens, and I have a book by that name on. It's a free PDF on the homepage of a website by that name, Earth, Ocean, Heavens, and it's writing about how peace can be achieved and weather patterns can be calmed and terrorist attacks and widespread healing. Terrorist attacks could end and widespread healing could be actualized. So I'll just share a random what comes to mind. Has the time arrived when humanity is able to digest the remarkable reality of just how simple it could be to shift the Earth's vibration? Here and now, it's our choice. how exactly life unfolds, the entire planet could realize we create the essence of the joy. Beginnings from creation breathe peace and joy and balance. They are what reality is made of. Humanity chooses. Breathing, how conscious we are of our breath in each moment as it enters and exits our body determines our experience. Letting go of thinking, gently, with very little effort, is an essential component. We, as a collected race of people, could enter what's called heaven, here, now. We simply need to choose it. The French philosopher Teilhard de Chardin created the word noosphere to describe a layer of thought that hovers above nature and acts as a universal consciousness. It's what people think of as the one mind or the collective consciousness. Chardin actually felt that our thoughts go up to an energy field and they're reflected back. And that was when I came up with this philosophy more than 20 years ago, that if enough of humanity could quiet their thinking just for a few minutes daily, it would quiet that atmosphere around the planet. And incrementally, I believe it's a formula for global peace. The Earth is flying now. Time span meaning has new dimension. Space before us beckons. Higher realms are ours. Quote unquote ready and quote unquote jump. And that was my parachuting command in 1978. There could be someone on the bow of our boat. Our boat is our planet Earth. The landfall that's being pursued, peace. Planet Earth appears to be going through hell. War, destruction, poverty, starvation only begins the list of horror. Is it time to enter the next 1,000-year cycle, an age foretold with peace and light and beauty? Yes. And I'll close with a line which is, please hold the thought with me that peace on earth, calmer weather patterns, and widespread healing can easily happen in a moment or two of silence in enough of the collective mind. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thanks for finally coming on.
Oh, sure. Thank
Welcome.
you.
Welcome and keep
Thanks.
coming back.
All right. Thanks so much.
Now, I do want to bring on one of the regulars who has to sometimes cut off and not be part of the second round, especially due to recent illness. But I think he'll be coming back to entertain us next week. Let's welcome up now, as part of an open mic slot, Mr. Richard Spizak.
Thank you so much. It is an indisputable honor to be among true speakers. I've never known a poet to lie, to sell something just for fun. You speak the truth, and the world is richer from it. These first pieces, this is called absolute immunity. You can guess where that goes. Such raging impunity begun Emperor Charlemagne's sympathetic congruity as he sits and occasionally shits on his golden throne, flying from Mar-a-Lago to Bangor, Maine. Old King John, who for such similar largesse, but hey, who's surprised that Drumidity caused exactly and precisely this kind of mess? He announced from the very beginning he only likes elections when he's guaranteed winning. He initiously and suspiciously announced to a paid group of actors he'll cashier the Constitution. It just wasn't a factor. Promoting lawlessness, you've seen his criminal cronies strip the justice system right down to the bare bonies. He's announced he's constrained by no actual law. He can do any crime, take anyone's time, steal anything he saw. Not only will the people let it pass, he thinks no more of killing a human and passing some gas. The ancient paradigm of how to contain the royals, not only will they do whatever they want, if there's anything left, they'll steal the spoils. They'll steal all the cash in any trade deal. He wants to grab it all, and he better not squeal. He's prepared to commit any crime because he's divinely selected. He thinks it's his time. And his sons and his daughters are simply biding their time. They expect his throne will fall into their hands unless we get out and vote and democracy foils their plans. They denounce voting without any evidence and will try again to derail democracy with January 6th as a violent precedent. And then this little brief one. Well, they gathered in Davos, Europeans, are no longer even slightly amused at the yelling and screaming and cursing he used. They've seen toddler behavior before. They gathered in Davos for a meeting, no special Trump-style WrestleMania downbeating. NATO was forced to send troops to protect Greenland from the Yanks, and to this day, not even one of the NATO generals has heard the tiniest word of thanks. Dumpy even tried to diminish NATO's contribution, but by now everybody knows he lies. So that's obviously no effing solution. NATO was there to prevent a tall turf grab over a bunch of frozen acres of the snowy Greenland slab. Sure, plant some missiles, build some bases, take all you want, but don't imagine you can plant a flag that will not stand. Graceless scam. France and the UK, the Swedes and the Belgians have something to tell him and his master Putin. Better find some other flavor and some other fools they can try to sell. NATO allies have stood together for nearly 90 years. They won't be on their watch that it collapses, no matter how much kicking and screaming and how many untempered Trump tears. Will Trump try to war on our European allies for what? And since the war isn't about bases or resources, what's it about? His gut? Well, hold your horses. Thank you, friends.
Thank you, Richard. And now I'd like to bring us to Marianne Honecker, who might have another golden shovel for us.
I do indeed have another golden shovel. This one is based on Ministry Stigmata. If you crack the night with your fist, I need the liquor to be stronger. I need earth to tilt. It's life rather than death, lust and hunger rather than reason. I need the music to be stronger. 2 leads, 1 bass, 1 drummer, rather than keyboards and piano solos. It's lies we told ourselves. Metal must have the growl. It's only a party. It's only me there with the boys. Throw back some more truth. Just another drink and you'll say what I want. It just gets more tangled to know. I want to rummage in your head. It is where I'll find photos of me, I hope. The day dies, your hazel eyes turn solid black. Look at me. I spent time on makeup. I'm in your pupil. I want to make a nest in your pupil. Everyone's talking about eyes. They are not windows to less than you think. The look you give me, that hazardous look, is not enough to act on. So I'm in your gaze. It doesn't mean I'm in your brain at any other time. Damn the eyes. They stir the pheromones of my body. They just do. Tonight we're in an old trailer. Like hell it is. Blasted floor and walls and heat like a just-driven ticking car. We jump on the furniture like kids. Crash to the floor. We are kids. Dumb and just sprouted from our exuviae like cicadas, ready to throw our trill a mile. No one should have a knife. We can't control our hormonal spurts. My favorite song comes on. My favorite. I frenzy. I know the words. I am weapon. I am bullet. I am gun. What I am is a match for violence. Strike me. Can you see the flare? Please don't give me that oceanic look. We're shallow ponds, all of us. We play in a movie we are making up. Black opals, your eyes. I struck a bell, a rock splash, your eyes. We make the days thunder and ice. If you've cracked the night with your fist, if you run from a store with stolen beer, if you're out of life and need to break something of value, if your chisel and bone eye lies, I've built on a foundation of sand. I'm certain of this. We were devils chewing our way out of hell, mouths of magma. On land we arrived, ordinary kids. Glass bottled beer a luxury. I got some, and a tab of acid for my birthday. Eating, I could feel the food tunneling through my body. Hair with tracers, glowing fingers. You were there. You remember me before I'm broken. Before this all leaves its mark. Not on flesh, but in the cells of my brain. The night we climbed the grooves in the tire, one by one up to the dozer's cab. Who's a child now? To play bulldozer. Then we'd run when a car passed by with its lights, or duck out of sight behind the giant wheels. I'm of the opinion we were children who were fed lies. That's all for now. Thank you.
Lovely, Marianne. Thank you. And now let's go further out west to one of the Four Feather Press's dignitaries. So I'd like to introduce to you or reintroduce to you a past Stone Soup feature from last year, Marvin Lewis Dorsey.
Thank you. I'm going to screen share. We're going to go here. Right there. All right. Things should have known. A Bobby John Press, poetic libretto. I'm Marvin Lewis. Still in head, not in a bed, my mind yawning, smoking cigarettes, drinking hot black cups, coffee. New day has offered me what no other can demand. My muse saying, stand the fuck up, old black man. It's time to see a tomorrow today. Portal to my other side, doorway to my unknown, wasted too much time thinking. Some things are just meant not to happen. Like the clapping of old hands, like the way this man stands when he's being by himself. I'm starving to death. My gut completely full. I saw silver clouds out loud, heard speaking. My God, so odd. This road traveled. So, how many times this man getting lost? Price he pays is more than enough to go into debt. This is his lifetime, a secret. No one knows how many days he has left. Not a gambling man. My life is not a long shot. Don't bet against me. Outside with these hobos, who else could know best for another passerby? We are just watching next steps as they come, go, or walking by. Under infamous oak tree, sitting in a wooden patio chair, legs crossed, I am not the boss of the moving of my feet. The muse said to this human, "This is your chili cheeseburger. Be grateful. It's a good thing. Having homeboys, not being hungry." Learning to enjoy storms should be a normal thing to do. Who could fall asleep dancing in some rain? Why is it not a damn shame to be buck naked, soaking wet? Thank you.
You're muted, Chad.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, and now moving on to someone completely different from the Black Seed Writers Group and the Stone Soup alum. Let's welcome up Jan Rowe.
Hi. Uh, so this is from the January 27th weekly. It's called Dropped Hat on the Red Line. By the way, this is my State of the World hairdo. How do you like it? Uh, Miss, why is this young man black that? In my space, I think to myself, as I get ready to exit the red line at Park Street, Boston for Black Seed Writers. I start to feel bothered, harassed. Miss, ma'am, you dropped your hat. As the young black man handed me my hat and something else. The hat was knit for me by Jacinth Jazz from Jamaica as a retirement gift. Jazz and I worked together for 23 years at a hospital. From a favorite doctor there, Dr. Barbara Maxwell, I adopted taking some people to lunch. Dr. Barbara Maxwell went to school, medical school, for free in Edinburgh. She was a pathologist there and a psychiatrist here. She grew up playing with coal miners' children because her dad was a coal miner's doctor, a great grandfather of mine. First, there's a lot of coal miner kids. His first at 12 or 13. He was a fire boss, so he had to decide if the mine was safe to work. So he had a lot of addresses, a lot of conflicts with the mine owners. Well, anyway, um, uh, so Dr. Maxwell's main luncheon guest was Doug, who once had to sit on his hands. And he was shaking so bad, so Jacinth, Jazz, who I worked with for 23 years, could feed him. So when he got better, Dr. Maxwell often visited him for lunch. Thank you.
Thank you, Jan. And I'd like to welcome up next. Where is she? Ah, yes, Beverly Cartwright. If you're ready, might need to unmute yourself. I can help you. There you go.
There you go. Yeah, thanks for having me. Can you hear me okay? Okay. This is a poem that I wrote about a week after the shooting of Renee Good. And the title is The Paperwhites. The paperwhites a friend gave me are out of control, easily reaching 2 feet tall and aiming for that extra foot. The smell or the fragrance, if you are one of their admirers, is enough to overwhelm my small living room. I think about the family of Renee Good, and I wonder if they are able to breathe through all the flowers, the donations, the food no one can eat. Or if they do swallow anything, it's because somehow they know that to refuse the food, the comfort, the love is the same thing as losing her all over again.
Very nice work. Hope you stay for round two. But we're, I think, just only a little over halfway through this first round robin round. And I'd like to continue with Mr. John Wezick.
Okay, so remember last time in Call Me Sal, the narrator has amnesia. He's been living with his fiance and her rich father. There's a psychiatrist in the mix, and also an artist named Taylor Davies who paints industrial plants. I picked up a paperback by Michael Connolly after Evelyn got up halfway through Fiddler on the Roof to phone the caterers. Reviews called the novel a page turner. Somehow that phrase resonated. Page turner. Page turner. I began reading. The protagonist's name was Hieronymus Bosch, just like the painter in my dream, and he was a detective. Did that have any significance? Esmeralda keeps leaving trashy novels around. Evelyn snatched the book from my hand and tossed it on the ottoman. She shook a capsule out of a pill bottle. Anyway, it's time for your medicine. Those pills always came out whenever I was on the verge of remembering maybe Evelyn didn't have my best interest at heart. I palmed it and swallowed the glass of water. Halfway through sunrise, sunset, I said, I'm feeling drowsy. Think I'll take a nap. That'll be good for you. Evelyn thumbed through an architectural digest. My bedroom window looked out on the driveway where Jenkins polished the Bentley until it gleamed. There was a bulge under his suit jacket. I wondered why I hadn't noticed. After an hour, withdrawal symptoms hit me like a ton of vinyl siding. Not the good stuff either, but the kind that cracks and fades in hot weather. My legs felt like I'd pedaled the Tour de France on a penny farthing with a crooked wheel, and I began to shiver. I didn't have the strength to undress, so I got into bed and pulled the wool over my eyes. After 8 hours of shivering and sweating, I woke up clear as a Tibetan singing bowl. Phrases finally made sense. I was Private Detective Morris Pillbottle, and Paige Turner, not Evelyn, was my girlfriend. Number 6 reminded me of Patrick McGowan's TV show, The Prisoner. I remembered meeting my client the previous week. You're that famous surrealist painter. Call me Sal. He took a seat and rested his cane against my desk. Where's your famous mustache? I asked. That's why I need you. You see, my mustache and I had a bitter argument. When you live with someone a long time, it's inevitable. Anyway, I said some things I shouldn't have, and my mustache threatened to leave. I said, fine, who needs you? Now I realize I was wrong and I want it back. I'll pay you a handsome fee to find it. And just how handsome are we talking about? I asked. Fish! My memory loss was a con. Elliot, Evelyn, and Dr. Sinclair were crooked as a Mobius strip in a Klein bottle. I couldn't smoke them out with all the pit barbecue in Texas. No, the only way to catch these sleazy weasels, chartreuse-handed, was to take them to Sal's handlebar mustache, and I remember just where it was. To be continued in the second half.
Thanks, John. And those who are hearing this story for the first time, ask John for his links to his other books, or just look up his name on Amazon for his various for his various books and stories about a detective last name of Pillbottom. And now we bring you to Mr. Bill Lewis.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chadford. Would you be so kind as to give me sharing permission?
You have
So, inasmuch I shall continue reading my lovely little story about Estonia and living in Tallinn, I will describe in some detail in a moment, but this is, 1993, April. I'm on a ship. I take a one-day tour of Estonia, and these fine little girls are sledding down Parliament Hill. I'm so impressed that I walk up to them, I smile, wave at them, point at the sled, point at me. They laugh, and I take the sled down the hill, and I decided that Estonia was my kind of place. And I just wanted to show you a few pictures of my friends, the people I lived with, and things I did. It was glorious. There is Tarvi. He is one of Estonia's top computer scientists. He looks like a bum. And all cars need work. And it's just us downtown. That is where I lived for the winter of 2002, 2003, 3 months in my friend's father's apartment. And there she is, Koya. She was a teenager during the war. And when the Soviets came, her parents, her mother made her burn all of her letters, and they were terrified. One out of every three Estonians was executed by the Soviets. And, you know, yeah, socialism is not very popular in Estonia. And I spent all my time in Kovik coffee houses. So here are just a few of the coffee houses that I was staying in, and just would every day have lunch or something there and just enjoyed it. And I got to practically know everybody in these places. And that is why I am telling this wonderful story, which I shall now regale you with. But I thought it'd be fun to just look at a few of my pictures and my fond memories. So, our protagonist, Yuri, is half Russian, half Estonian. He's been taking it hard from the Estonian kids who don't really appreciate that aspect of his existence. And he has his little refuge, a broken down place in an old building which he would hide after school, and renovations have come. There's a cat in there, Yuri blurted out. The two men turned to regard him. Vladimir had a thin, gaunt face and deep-set blue eyes. He looked kind. Serge was the opposite. His face was full, rounded, with brown eyes that pushed their way out of his face. Rugged brown hair hung out of his cap. He looked irritated. Is your cat? Yuri shook his head. Well, better get out of there fast. Yuri thumped the outside of the crevice with his hammer. Clear out, cat. Nothing. Serge looked down the crevice. Come here, cat. Reached in, then jerked his hand back. Shit! Yuri could see the scratch marks on his wrists where the gloves had been pulled down. Your history, bastard. Serge grabbed his hammer, pulled it back for a mighty blow, and hit the overhang. It rattled, a tile broke off and fell, hitting Sarge's shoulder. Damn it! Serge dropped his hammer and grabbed his shoulder. The hammer dropped to the ground. Serge turned around. He stepped on the hammer's handle and slipped, tumbling against the wall. More bad language poured from his mouth as he held his head, then his shoulder. Vladimir picked up a pair of heavy gloves from the wheelbarrow and handed Yuri a burlap sack. Hold it open. He reached in with the gloves, talking gently, as Serge swore in the background. Come, cat, it's okay. Yuri could hear the cat hissing and spitting. There we go. Vladimir dragged the cat out. Its fur was up, its eyes were blazing, it was struggling to get out of Vladimir's grip. Vladimir held the cat down against the lip of the crevice and tried to calm it. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Here we go, cat. He glanced back at Serge, who was still massaging his wounds. A trickle of blood ran down his face. Yuri approached the cat and looked into its burning eyes. It's okay. It's me, see? He held out his hand for the cat. The cat didn't sniff it, but it seemed to calm down a little bit. Open the sack, kid, Vladimir ordered him. He lifted the cat by the scruff of its neck, placed it carefully into the sack. There we go. You'll be fine. The cat struggled, but allowed itself to be put into the sack. Yuri closed it. Now get out of here. Don't let that cat come back. He looked at Serge again. He won't live very long if he does. Serge was still kneading his shoulder, looking like he would tear the cat to pieces with his teeth if he could. Yuri left. Do 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 do. Estimos et mon hermano. Oh, my armistice and oh, my. I love this country.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Up next, getting closer to the end of the first round. It's been an exciting variety of people. Gonna get a little more exciting. Let's welcome up Rick Christensen.
Thank you. I am going to read two in the first round from this anthology. I was excited to see Richard here because my two are on page 8 and Richard has two on page 9. This is a wonderful tribute of poetry to Renee Nicole Good, curated by Finn Hall, who I think most of you know. It's called Broad Daylight. First one I'm going to read. The label for the type of poem this is almost as long as the poem itself. This is a braided Tonka progression in 3 parts. Takes almost as long to say that as the poem. It is called Inclusion Criteria. 1. This time the body fits the country's outline. Pronounceable name, neighbors who look like us. This time they killed something like us. 2. Had she worn a veil, spoken grief with an accent, sirens would fade fast. We ration outrage carefully. This time they killed one of us. 3. The line keeps moving. Who counts as human today? Flags decide the math. Empathy checks passports first. This time they killed the idea of us. Thank you. This next one is untitled. I wrote this specifically for the anthology. It is about Renee Good. A mother, poet, 37 breaths counted out. Ground holds the echo. The badge discovers weight, too late. Silence files the report. Training thin as air, a young hand borrowed the law. Orders outran thought. The trigger finished the lesson. Refusal left untaught. Broken system hums, life priced below procedure. Names drain to numbers. The room bows to the space she leaves. Ink cooling on the page. Thank you.
Pick up a copy. Sadly, not the last anthology Finn's going to be putting out before the end, before this is all over. And now I'd like to bring up, for something incredibly different, our visual poet from Delaware and the director of the Stone Soup Players, Mr. Robert Fleming.
Thank you, Chad. Tonight I'm going to share my recent publication on Oddball magazine. My text was accompanied by this cartoon about the Melania movie. Give you a few seconds to look at the cartoon. And I'm going to read the artist's biography. John Haas Taylor Jr. is a cartoonist from Hebron, Maryland. He graduated from Salisbury University with a bachelor's degree in art. His art and comics work has been published in various literary magazines, both in print and digitally. Host can be found at home with his wife Caitlin and their daughter Sophia. And now I will read my text response to that. Melania wins 2030 Best Musical Tony Award. Robert Fleming, June 8th, 2030, American Theater Wing. Melania, the 2026 movie, brought to stage, sweeps the 2030 Tony Awards. Melania Rise from a Slovenia Girl to United States First Lady is a mashup of the musicals Oliver and Evita, the movie Scarface, and educational programming. The curtain opens on a cement background in a state-run housing complex where girls don't have enough money to buy chalk. The girls pray to Mary, who guides them to steal a vegetable cart, and miracles turn it into a hopscotch game. In the song Hopscotch Girl Gang, the girls and the audience learn how to cut, dice, and chop vegetables and earn their Girl Scout vegetable badge. Best costumes awarded for plastic bag and cardboard coveralls. The vegetable crop rotating wins best sets. As the best lighting flashes, Melania becomes a young woman model wannabe. The runway agents force Melania to be a model and sex worker. The Metallica song A Model Ain't a Hoe wins best score. Again, Melania prays to Mary to help her escape the brothel runway. Mary delivers fireworks lighting and Disney Princess Dust salvation of AR-15 semi-automatic rifle high heel attachments. Best Feature Actress is awarded to Mary, who teaches Melania and the audience how to attach AR-15s to 6-inch heels. The National Rifle Association blackmailed American theater voters who are card-carrying NRA members to award a special Tony, Best Weapons, for the AR-15s. Act 2, Melania, Best Actress, whirlwinds to United States, where she meets Donnie. Evita-like in the song Hip Hop High Heels, Melania rises to First Lady by disposing of anyone in her way using her AR-15s. Once Donnie is president, Melania runs the country from her walk-in closet. She gets bored with politics and transfers her hobby to jewelry. The curtain falls with Melania singing and best choreography tapping to Cubic Zirconia Sparkle, while she runs the country from her jewelry business at quality value convenience. Melania plays at the Schubert Theater. Tuesday matinee entrance price is a box of Girl Scout cookies. Sunday matinee entrance price is 20 bullets. And I will just read the one line from my bio, which I think I haven't shared before. During COVID, 3 of his one-act plays were produced on Zoom. Digital Connection, Pazuzu Pajamas, and The Eighth Wonder. In 2025, his comedy sketch Hamlet at the Drive-Thru Window was nominated for Best of the Net and Best Short Fiction. And I want to thank Chad for asking me to respond to John Taylor's comic. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. Okay, counting down. I'd like to go next to I like to go with Anna Jeffrey next. Another recent Stone Soup feature.
All right. You guys want to do two poems this round? Is that how we're doing things? Yeah. He's muted, but it sounds like yes. Okay.
Oh yes,
So
yes. Sorry. Good Lord.
no,
Yeah.
you're fine. Okay, so I got two things. One, was accepted for publication like a fucking year ago and just came out. For those of you who have things in the Pose anthology, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And the other one I wrote today. So let's start with the published shit because that's fun. And I'm cussing. I hope that's okay because that's happening. This is the one that's published. This is called No Ticket. There is not a river of billionaire blood deep or wide enough for me to shed a tear on its bank. I want to thank the members of the bourgeoisie for making it so easy to recruit thirsty shit posters to the cause of radical redistribution. We're all learning there's no substitution for extremely direct solutions. Privacy suddenly seems to mean something to the ones who've been compulsively gathering the collective metadata of the masses. Maybe this time we get off our asses. It's only class war if we fight back and everything's under attack. But maybe if we consciously take a minute to breathe, invest in our community, it doesn't have to be rope-a-dope again. Return of the Robber Barons, Final Solutions Part 2, spare me your electric boogaloo, tell the boys if they want to take the involuntary out of celibate, find a worthy cause and fight for it. Stop displacing onto people who have as little or less than you. It starts at the top. We all know what it takes for the bleeding to stop. I'm no accelerationist. I never asked to live in times like this, but watch me match the speed of traffic. No ticket. And I almost never do that one, and it just barrels through. This is brand new, brand new, and probably will continue to change, but right now it is titled Substitutions. Brown sugar is an acceptable substitute for granulated sugar. Granulated sugar is an acceptable substitute for brown sugar, but preferably when doctored with the addition of a small amount of molasses or honey, or if you're really strapped, marshmallow fluff is an acceptable substitute for either. If you're a New Englander with a bare pantry and a longing for brownies in the middle of a French toast alert, a hoodie is an acceptable substitute for a shirt. Fats may be freely substituted for each other, but grease doesn't behave like butter. Ghee is not a neutral flavor. If you try to fry your chicken parm in a pot of olive oil, you'll know what a third-degree burn feels like. Peanut oil is best for people who are not allergic to peanuts. A hobby is an acceptable substitute for a personality. Drugs are acceptable substitute for a hobby. Ketamine is a substitute for DBT, but don't mix up your CBTs or you'll need therapy for your tortured bits. Committing to the bit is an acceptable substitute for a script. A middle finger is an acceptable substitute for a pointer finger. A ring finger is an acceptable substitute for a middle finger. A pinky finger is an acceptable substitute for a ring finger. A middle finger is an acceptable substitute for a witty retort. A corset is an acceptable substitute for a spine. Apple cider vinegar can be substituted for face disfiguring acids. Baking soda can be substituted for anthrax. Marzipan can be substituted for cyanide. Propaganda can be substituted for journalism. Your drunk uncle can be substituted for an expert opinion. Outrage can be substituted for a constitution. Obedience can be substituted for a revolution. Fawn can be substituted for freeze, can be substituted for flee, can be substituted for fight. Thank you.
So good. And that publication is the Pose anthology, correct?
Yes, No Ticket is in the Pose Anthology by Vagabond Press, which is available now and awesome, and you should get it.
Hooray. And also includes the work of the late Jeff Taylor, who passed away last year. And up next, let's go to Mr. Don Kingfisher Campbell.
That seems entirely apropos because I'm also on the Depose anthology. In fact, my copy is supposed to arrive in the mail today, and I've been waiting all day for it. Oh well. I can read from other things. Might have heard of Verse Virtual. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Real love. I seek you like a plane crossing the sky. I desire you like a flower sprouting out of the ground. I need you like a branch pushes through a wood fence. I wait for you like a parked SUV sits all day. I think of you like leaves on a tree dancing with the wind. I worship you like a pooch sniffing a verdant corner. I'm ready for you like a car starting up in the morning. I follow you like a dog walking on a leash behind you. I salute you like a flag waving with the breeze. I revel in you like a sun setting on the horizon. I miss you like two hounds barking behind a fence. I remember our times like distant traffic whooshing away. And not entirely different than that would be from the latest Alien Buddhazine. You know, February seems to be the month of love, right? So I'll read my love poem. It's called I Carry in My Pocket a Poem Written on a Little Wrapper You Discarded. Whether you believe it or not, you are my sweet rock, giving me the comfort food of your love and someone just to hold on to. Your words nourish me like the best fruity nutrition drink. I feel good energy imbibing in your smiling face. I've stapled a picture of you to my soul, bleeding inside when I have to spend hours without you. It's like having a 20 in my jeans and no reason to take it out anywhere. Still, I've recorded memories of you in the compact disc of my brain. I love to play back those special times when clothes were definitely optional. So I'll wait to see you again, like an empty plastic bag lying on a folding table, ready for you to use me and dispose.
I see what you did there. Nicely done. And to conclude this first round, we go to our signature closer and closing poet, Mr. James Van Loy. Check out his column, It's All One Thing, every Thursday morning at 11 o'clock at Oddball Magazine. And take it away, sir. Sir James, that is.
Thank you, Chad. So I have a poem here from this group that used to go out of Stone Soup to MCI Norfolk. So this is called Crossing the Event Horizon Line at MCI Norfolk, and it's for Elizabeth Ma Barker. They called her Ma Barker from the famous gang from the 1930s because she really liked to take care of her boys at the prison, MCI Norfolk. So this is Crossing the Event Horizon Line at MCI Norfolk. You think always, always you'll know when you cross the event horizon line, but when you open that chip paint door and tentatively stepped in, it's just a waiting room full of young women and kids, family members and volunteers, and soon
We're waiting together with lockers lining the walls to put our stuff in and the two bathrooms before the long journey into the interior. So surely, then the trap. The trap must be the weighty train, except stripped of identification and our layers of social insulation and pockets turned inside out, still somehow, as never before, 3 times. The retracting crawl of the trap door lets me in and out, so no, no, not the metal detector or the wands of the final two automatic doors of the trap or the watch post with someone so invisibly above until the last door finally opens, only to reveal a fenced-in yard and another gate. And there is a chain link wall mounted by razor wire, a wall with a great stone wall, a veritable DMZ. Do they even want to keep the Canadian geese out? So we must make our repressed way across the wide open campus, up the steps, through the heavy metal, dingy colored doors, and then down the halls to Central Command to sign in one more time again before being admitted to the inner sanctum through one more door with a key. So then we are in the field of singularity and must pass the vortex of solitary confinement, where the voices that talk to voices live with the voices that hear the voices that none of us can hear echo in the courtyard. And we can all feel the weight that pulls and pushes and presses until we are a tight knot unraveling at the atomic, no, the subatomic level up the sidewalk, solid concrete. So into the central meeting hall, which must be the event horizon line, since nothing else is left, but it is not. No, it is a stage behind a curtain, encompassing a community that makes a circle social, that plays poetic license, that speaks from the deepest level, that unites the head in heaven with the feet so rooted in the foundation. It is the body of Christ and the Holy Spirit moved air. So we are all one thing, held together by levity, our toes so far below stretch away. Thank you. Vermont Parker.
Thank you, James. And we went back to start. Most of us are collecting $200 to pass go and have another go on the open mic. One exception is actually the person who was our number one. Sadly, Julian Matthews has had to move on to another gathering. So we can go straight to Rita Rusty Rose if she's ready.
Yes, yes, I am. And they've heard this before, this haiku, but it's in response to Rump talking about chiseling his image on Mount Rushmore. So let me bring it up. So let's see. Where's that share? I'm looking for the share again. Oh, there it is. It used to be green, but now it's black share. Okay. The haiku, Mount Trumpmore. Multitudes gave voice, and the walls came tumbling down at the base of Mount Trumpmore. Multitudes gave voice, and the walls came tumbling down base of Mount Trumpmore. Thank you.
Thank you, Rita. And next we bring back Linda Olson Graham.
Oh, thanks, everybody. So it's a poem. All the beings of all the worlds are watching now, so desirous of our upliftment, praying to mankind to hear the calls. They've been in a steady stream, beaming to our heart's desires, caressing what we say we want. We could see the end continuum as clearly as they do, rising in the bluest skies, fully in our heart for love, being one with God. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Linda. And continuing on, we head back to Mr. Richard Spizak.
Thank you all, my friends. Like many of you, I've been so burdened by the political issues around us. I've decided in this, the month of love, to share a little erotica with you. And I warn you now, trigger warning. You know what they said? That free love stuff, man, it's going to lead to bestiality. So here we go. I will share screen. So gird your loins. Here we go. So this is called the bee's knees. The bee's knees, pretty as you please, not 1, 2, or 3. You've 6 to admire and wonder there. Yes, sirree, that's fire. Not just delicate, lovely, and shiny, and right there above it all, that velvety, stripy, bobbing hiney, made for scurrying from petal to petal, blessed by more curves than a comic book of sparkling heavy metal. Now, I'm not just talking about a bouncing bee behind, not any kind of average. Well, let's not be savage. After all, a behind's a behind. And those cutesy bees' knees, if you please, they're so positively anti-allergenic, if you know what I mean. Because driving all that shaking, guiding that heady dance is a beautiful mind that came from study and spirit, my friend, not by chance. And there you have it, the bee's knees.
Familiar one. Thank you so much, Richard. And looks like a couple people have jumped off, so we're moving a little faster. But we're going to go next to Marianne Honecker.
Okay, I've got another golden shovel. This one is based on the entire lyrics of Slayer's Raining Blood. Once a whore, always a whore. I won't pretend I'm a butterfly, trapped, beating my wings against the net. I'm in your display, though, pierced through, purgatory of a creature whose insides leaked out. A cicada shell, empty and lifeless. But I am not reborn. I'm the object left behind. Vampire, I seek those alive. I'm in it day by day, not awaiting any redemption or reprisal. A friend pulls out my hair. I kick her. Death giggles at this violence, but it will not come to me. I'm in detention. Be aware that I'm writing poems, their sharp barbs piercing the page. Acquaintance occurs by just sitting in the lunchroom. The day is chopped up, and in the sky the sun droops in shame. Another week is poured down the drain with stale beer, with turning aside. I catch the sun in my hair, red, setting. To my own vomit I return, to lost panties, to pissing publicly, to rituals in which I find my power. Fucking doll-like draws power. Drinking draws power. Puking does not. I am near total dissolution, dispersed in the fall air. The molecules of me turn into someone's headache, sour stomach. But me, I'm ready to go again. I am the shit. I am a turnstile. I am the sky's weeping of color, ending with crimson. Can of empty beer, eyes empty of tears. I have abolished love, will abolish my own soul, toss it into a ditch, the finale of my breaking of the rules. I'm the half-crushed can in the grass, made of tin. I'm a solar flare. I'm made of diamond. I am the moon. I am a stone. I will get in anyone's car pierced as I am with attack. A flutter from myself standing in the snowfall below. Where do they go, those acquiesced souls? It is dark now and cold. I'm just one of the guys. The guys drop acid and on my tongue is a half square. I'm treacherous. I see a guy with snakes in his chest. Past midnight and circling like a dog. Betrayed myself so many times. It's a loop, by God. I see thunder in your hair, many clouds thundering at once. So I now know. You're a bridge. Girls may be ornaments, but your dark hair with new rain is dripping. I forget the visions. I walk above the crowd like an angel. I'm awaiting an open door. It's time to escape the cicatrix, its bumpy outlines. The hour is now. I don't know what I'm afraid of. There's no apology, reprisal. No part of the story is your story. I've seen the circles of time. The past is meandering. It slips its banks like a child who has run away. She hasn't brought clean socks and it's raining. She has bitten her lip and there is blood. There is a dark cave I'm returning from. In it I've hidden my many shames. A doll I was, hair torn, face lacerated. I stood cocky, some dumb punk under sky, red as any of my wounds and bleeding. I am nightmare, and I embrace it. It's nearing the end now, the long horror. Now in my mindscape I am creating jewelweed, its humble little cups. In my house the lights are on. I have a structure. I'm no longer a pool of blood. It's now. My monster, I did love only you, and I shall die with that. The sky shall open, shall rain, clocks are reset. I know the mind's reign is over, is punishing, and in its place a presidency of blood, body. That's all. Thank you.
Thanks again for another golden shovel. And now, with Marvin having departed, we are moving over to Jan Rowe if she's willing to go again.
Got it.
Okay. Um, so since I've been in this writing group getting weeklies for a decade, they kind of stack up. And I was looking for this one um, called, it's about Julian Brave Noise Cat that I wrote. He was saved um, from being burned in a fire stack at this Indian school by Antonius Cornelius Stoop, this Dutch night watchman. So Julian Brave Noise Cat, but I couldn't find it. But I found another stack to look through. But so I thought I'd read this. Dare I write and read this? A Boeing whistleblower, a longtime employee in the Carolinas, recently found dead, shot in the head. He prophesied his death, asked that it not be called a suicide, as it was murder. Like Boeing wanted special treatment about their de-icing problems, their flap problems, their stalling problems, and their executives have to fly private jet. Well, anyway, his death came amid days of testimony against Boeing, blowing the whistle on shoddy work, dangerous work. Reminds of Karen Silkwood, 1946 to 1974, employee and whistleblower at Carnegie Nuclear Plant in Oklahoma, killed, murdered at age 28 via a car wreck as she was en route with a file for investigative reporters. Now a file missing. Los Alamos top scientist Dr. George Voss, he declared she had a legitimate amount of plutonium in her body. A legitimate amount of plutonium in her body. So great movie with Meryl Streep as Carol Silkwood and Cher co-stars. Um, um, Boston produced a play on this in 81. So the National Security Council, NSC, found 40 pounds, this is recently, of plutonium on an oil tanker headed for Israel. Something about a smuggling ring involving the CIA, what is it, M15, and Mossad. Thank you.
And she's out of here. Let's with Beverly Cartwright having left, let's go to Mr. John Wesick for perhaps a conclusion to the Pill Bottom saga or another cliffhanger. Either way.
We'll see. This could be a breakthrough Dr. Sinclair held the door for Evelyn, Elliot, and me to enter Taylor Davies' studio. I don't know what it means, I said. A mustache was holding a paintbrush. Do you remember what it looked like? Dr. Sinclair asked. I'm not sure. I sat on a plastic chair. It's all so confusing. I think it resembled the one on William Howard Taft. What about the paintbrush? Dr. Sinclair asked. You have to try, darling. Evelyn knelt and put her arm around me. Once you remember, we can be together. I'll try. I led them into a workshop that smelled of turpentine. There were 3 easels and a table that held paints and cups with brushes, bristle side up. I remembered the brush had a blue handle. Evelyn snatched a paintbrush out of the cup. This isn't it, she said. Where is it? Where's the mustache? We need to be patient, Dr. Sinclair said. Perhaps hypnosis will help George remember. I'm sick of patience. We wasted too much time on your plans. Evelyn motioned to Elliot. Grab him! Elliot cinched my arms behind my back, and a spindly painter hit my belly like a sparrow colliding with a Boeing 747. I'll ask you again, Evelyn said. Where's the handlebar mustache? Right here. Sal emerged from the Prussian blue shadows with his arm around his iconic mustache. I've missed you, darling, he said and planted it above his lip. After Sal hired me to find his missing mustache, I realized Spurned Whiskers would seek a rival painter whose style was a polar opposite to surrealism. But Taylor Davies was abusive, and the mustache wanted to leave. It hid the only place it could, in the bristles of the paintbrush. I paced back and forth while explaining. Having sunk millions into Davies' paintings, Elliot and his daughter needed a marketing scheme to make them more valuable. A handlebar mustache worked for Sal, and they figured it would work for them too, so they couldn't let Sal's whiskers leave. Unfortunately for them, Jenkins acted too soon when I arrived to search the studio. They then induced memory loss with those pills and had art historian Barney Sinclair pose as a psychiatrist to trick me into revealing the mustache's location. I turned to Davies. How am I doing so far? Even if you'd stolen my mustache, you'd always be a mediocre artist, Sal told Davies. Hand it over! Evelyn drew a pistol from her purse. I wouldn't. 357 Magnum drawn. Page Turner stood from behind the reception desk. Lieutenant Filefolder and a dozen cops flooded the studio and handcuffed the miscreants. You got my message then? I asked Page. Yeah. Esmeralda's been a library patron for years. She took my hand. You're overdue, mister. I'm returning you to the library and filing you under 813.085. Romance.
Very nice. Up next, we're back in Idaho with Bill.
We are not back in Idaho. Good grief, we are back in Estonia with Bill. Where were we?
Oh, Peter, I just missed the call.
God. Do you know how impoverished Estonia was at the end of the Soviet era? And they have turned it so totally around. You know how rich my country was, and they have turned it completely around. Oh, yes. Yuri crossed Rutli, walked up to the church where he turned and started across the lawn. Nigolisti church is L-shaped. The bottom of the L rung the long Rutli, where the long sides run down Nigolisti. In the crook of the air, there's the wide sloping lawn. At the bottom of the lawn, on the opposite side of the church, is a bombing memorial from World War II. Yuri settled himself against the church in the crook, safe from the wind. It's okay, Cat. You're safe now. You and me, Cat. We're safe. He petted the cat through the burlap bag. It seemed to be calm. I've got some food for you. Would you like some wurst? Yuri cracked open the bag and looked inside. The cat crawled to the opening and stuck its head out. Some nice wurst, see? Yuri scooped a little bit of the wurst onto his spoon. The cat, surprisingly calm, sniffed and ate. They sat there in the crook of the church in the bitter cold. The cat was content to stay in the sack while Yuri fed it and petted it through the burlap. They continued to sit there after the wurst was finished. Yuri petted the cat, spoke to it, and nothing else. Even in the protection of the church, Yuri began to feel the cold again. He began to shiver. The cat pulled itself out of the sack, gave Yuri a glance, and headed directly across the lawn and disappeared under the wire fence and into the ruins of the World War II memorial. Yuri stood up and shook himself in the cold. The sack he left by the church, the spoon he held and looked at. He looked around for something to do with it, but nothing came to mind. He tossed it onto the sack and started down the road to home.
Cliffhanger. Thank you so much, Bill. And back to Rick Christensen, if he wants another
Okay.
go.
What a great night. Uh, I'm almost reluctant to call this next one a poem. It's more a polemic, but I think it fits the tone tonight. It's called The Weight of Bridges. It begins with an epitaph by John Lewis, the activist congressman who we lost a few years ago, who I wish was here to help us now with this country. The epigraph, our struggle is a struggle to redeem the soul of America. It's not a struggle that lasts for a few days, a few weeks, a few months, or a few years. It is the struggle of a lifetime, more than one lifetime. John Lewis, The Weight of Bridges. I am so very angry. I feel betrayed by my culture. I want to turn my back, hide behind my walls, waiting for Amazon deliveries and the collapse of our republic. If you don't like it here, leave. I will not leave. John Lewis knew the shape of struggle, its sharp edges, its relentless weight. He was there when history pressed its hand to the earth and left a scar. On bridges, in courtrooms, in streets where justice was just a whispered hope, he laid himself down as a path. He faced the tear gas, the batons, the hard edges of power with nothing but conviction. Good trouble, he whispered, as if the phrase could unlock doors that had been welded shut for centuries. Find the kind of trouble that cracks the veneer of denial, that pulls truth into the light, even when everyone wants to look away. Good trouble, he called it, the kind that bends steel, shatters glass, and leaves a mark on those who refuse to yield. Good trouble does not ask for permission, does not wait for the tide to turn. It steps forward knowing that the way is made only by those who refuse to stand still. Good trouble, he knew, is not the absence of peace, but the fight for its truth. A weight that only the resolute can carry, a weight carried by those who refuse to stand down. Good trouble, the kind that cracks open the heart of a nation and lets the light flood in. I will not run and hide. I will bear the weight of bridges. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. Robert Fleming, if you have something else.
Thank you, Chad. So I just finished today the materials for a workshop that I will be leading February 21st to help people create first drafts for the digital magazine Instant Noodles. Our current call is planes, boats, cars, and trains. And the invitation for this is in Facebook on the Stone Soup page. I'm just going to share what I'm going to show the participants and what the prompts will be. So I'm starting with having a reading of the call for instant noodles, and then I will let the participants ask any questions. And first I will share some works on planes. This is a flash fiction, 102 words, which I received from Diane Pierce, who's the editor-in-chief of the magazine. And this is one of the artists who has submitted. It is a watercolor of an airplane. And here is a digital artwork that I did called Cows on a Plane, surrealistic. And here is another one called Voxel Art Snake Carousel. And here is an erotica one where a man's body becomes part of the tarmac. And there's a few words about a plane taking off. So it is actually a visual poem. Then I will have the prompt for the word plane and give the participants 7 minutes to create a first draft. Then we'll go to boats. This is a flash fiction called Deck Attention. It is a Victorian period flash. And here is a poem called Sailing on Gravy Boat Seas, which I nominated this year for Best of the Net and for a pushcart prize. Here is a picture of a boat, and you'll see that the water looks different than it really is. There's some distortion, which makes the painting an impressionist painting. I think it's oil. Here's another one of a boat because it has the hole. It's a little bit surrealistic. And then I will have the prompt for a boat, 7 minutes. And then I will give the participants a chance to share on the first or second work, up to 3 minutes for a maximum of 300 words. And then we'll go to cars. This is a drama piece, short, which I wrote. It imagines Hamlet from the play Hamlet being alive today and driving through a drive-through window for fast food. And it was nominated this year for both Best of Short Fiction and for Best of the Net. Here is a car, another one of the submitters. And this is a humorous piece. One of the participants tonight, Don Fisher King, had a prompt for Four Feathers Press of landmarks of Southern California. So this is Pacific Coast Highway, and this is Norman and Marion from the movie Psycho, 1960, and it is one of my favorite horror movies. So here they are on a date on Pacific Coast Highway. And then we will have the prompt for a car for 7 minutes. And then we will have the train. This is a poem. I also fortunately have an audio recording from the author, so it makes it a multimedia submission. And then this is a visual poem that I wrote about a train called Growing Up on the Wild Wild West. And then we'll have the prompt of the train with 7 minutes. and then the participants will have a chance to share once more, and then remind them of the deadline, any questions, and announcements for the press. Thank you for letting me share my upcoming workshop to help participants create first drafts for the current call for instant noodles.
If you want to post links for anyone who's interested, that might be helpful as well. And now we're down to the final two with Don having left us. The first is Anna Jeffrey.
All right. I have a short one, and this is a poem that is 98% the joke by volume. And if you guess what the joke is, you win the prize. One sec to pull it up. That's not the right tab. There it is. You bring me gifts of copper and gold, and truly I love every shell and bit of string that passes through your hands and into mine, but I want more. You call through my window, tempting me to moonlit fields, and oh, I should be abed, but I cannot help my desire to take everything that you are and make it mine. Oh, I want our bodies entwined, falling through each other's lines, and I want to drink your reddened eyes. Give me your tears, and I will plant the seeds you carry, wrap myself in your shed clothing, arm myself with your stolen sword, feast upon your rotten flesh. Oh, cleave into me, and I will make a home from your bones. Take your soot-blackened skull and place it on my mantle. Does anybody know what the joke is?
First, I thought it was a deep Aladdin reference, but now I'm not so sure.
No, see, my husband's over here playing Minecraft, and that entire poem is 98% Minecraft references by volume.
Damn, I need to see the Minecraft movie, or maybe I don't.
No, you don't. No, just hop on a bad server and die a bunch. It'll be a much better use of your time.
Fair enough. Who wants to be in a movie where kids are rioting to chicken jockey? Anyway, the let us go now to our closing speaker for the second and final round. Mr. James Van Loy, you are on.
Thanks, Chad. So this is my poem for both Alex Preddy and Renee. Good. It's called The People Need to Know. Was Alex Preddy the subject of a target assassination? Was the headline that greeted me this morning on the World Socialist website. The question I had doubted anyone would ask since the obvious murder of Renee Nicole Good, seen in the video made by her killer, who recorded the incident, was his own phone video released by VP Vance, who claimed that it proved the agent shot 3 times into her car in self-defense. But to me, it showed he was on a mission, as he came all the way around her car, passing both Renee and her companion, Becca, who addressed him where they were being recorded, to quickly zip up in front of their vehicle, just as his wingman distracted Renee at its wheel, attempting to open her door and yelling at her to get out of the car as she backed up in classic three-point turn and attempted to pull away and around. The agent, now in her left front quarter, who had already transferred his phone, visible in the video, from his right hand to his left, freeing it to draw his weapon, as she is seen turning the wheel away from him. Other videos prove he then fired a shot into the driver's side windshield, and then 2 more rounds quickly from beside her, one hitting her on the side of the head, so that her car careened off up the street, hit another car, And multiple videos show the car never touched him except when he slammed his left phone hand hard on the hood, making a noise audible on this video as if he had been hit. A classic insurance scam trick, which scammers indeed, like Kristi Noem, DHF's chief and deputy chief of White House staff, Stephen Miller, and the vice president, of course, Agent Orchid himself, all piled on to blame both the victims who were being surveilled by ICE and then Border Patrol goons who had broken the rib of Alex Predin in a previous encounter, and who have a long history of making up stories about non-existent weaponization of vehicles or possession of guns and knives to cover up their homicides for decades, going back to when all this immigration hysteria was ramped up when Iran-Contra destabilization of Central America was followed up by NAFTA corporate criminal trade policy and U.S. secret regime change ops. So now, over there, over here we are with U.S. citizens executed in the street for observing fascist thugs claiming absolute immunity. Oh, such impunity of Agent Orangehead given immunity by 6 corrupt Supremes. Daylight again, following me to bed. I think about 100 years ago, how my fathers bled. I think I see a valley covered with bones and blue. All the soldiers that can't get older been asking after you. Hear the past a calling from Armageddon side when everybody's talking and no one is listening. How can we decide? Do we find the cost of freedom buried in the ground? Mother Earth will swallow you, lay your body down. Find the cost of freedom buried in the ground. Mother Earth will swallow you, lay your body down. Mother Earth will swallow you, lay your body down. Thank you.
And with that, we say good night to all of you, and thank you all for a very festive Stone Soup. I'm going to have fun listening to this open mic when I reload it onto YouTube tomorrow. I'll tag as many of you as I can in the final photo, which Robert is already posing for. I guess we will do the final wave. Let me get this off of me. Getting a little cold, so. And thank you for that. And we'll have more announcements coming up for February. Might not be as active a February as I wanted because I am taking 1 week off due to vacation, but we are coming back in full force for we are coming back in full force in March as well, and we of course we do have Jules Nyquist as our end feature for February, but more announcements will be coming. Stay tuned to the Stone Soup Facebook page or to stonesoupoetry.blogspot.com or to my personal website, etc., etc., or just wait for me to spam you with on Facebook Messenger. Thank you guys very much for a wonderful night, and stay warm, stay safe. Hope it doesn't snow too much in your area over the weekend, and we'll see you next time. Oh, and Anna, you have the controversy this coming Monday, right?
Yeah, which definitely is a second Monday and not a first Monday. I didn't mess up scheduling. That's some other guy. But yeah, anyway, yes, this coming Monday, if you are in the greater Boston area and you want to do this shit in person, Malton's your spot. You can find us on Facebook, Controversial Open Mic, or just bother me. And it's a great fun time. And yeah.
Don't bother Anna. But I'll be posting information on the event later on this Friday. Hope you guys have a great weekend, great time, and see you soon. Or as they say, the show's over. See you next time. What do we do until then?